More than an apparel company, No Purpose is a company on a mission to encourage hearts, connect others, love to the one, and give back along the way. No Purpose has teamed up with me, Sean Speaks, and the rest of the squad at the Juneteenth Blackout Facebook group. For the rest of the month, No Purpose is offering 15% off plus free shipping with the use of the code BLACKOUT. For every purchase, No Purpose is making a contribution to the Restore Eudora project, which is a community effort to rebuild a grocery store in Eudora, Arkansas, which has become a food desert. So your purchase for the month of December with No Purpose comes with a discount and serves a cause. So be sure to use the code BLACKOUT at checkout and get your 15% off plus your free shipping.
Grand rising or grand evening, depending upon what time you are listening. This is Sean Speaks with freeyourthinkingmind.com. And I just want to say I am so excited to present to you my latest blog from the website at freeyourthinkingmind.com. But before I get started, I want to tell you something about this shirt that I'm wearing. This shirt, this sweater, rather, is I purchased it from nopurpose.com. Remember your why. No Purpose and my Facebook group, Juneteenth Blackout, have teamed up, and No Purpose is offering 15% off for the rest of the month of December. All you have to do is use the code BLACKOUT to receive 15% off. Plus, she has free shipping. And on top of that, some portion of every sale she will be donating to the Restore Eudora project, which is basically a community-owned effort to build a grocery store in Eudora, Arkansas that has become a food desert. So you can do some shopping during the shopping season of December, and you can also support a cause. So go over to nopurpose.com and be sure to use the blackout code and get your 15%. All right, so let's get started on this newest blog I have. I'm just kind of excited about this, right? Anytime I write, I love sharing what I write. I used to write all the time. I would keep it to myself, and I'll tell you one of the reasons why I release everything for the most part that I write. I release it is because I never forget. I was listening to Seth Godin one time, and he says, you know, most people tell me that they're not a writer, and I'll say, well, show me what you wrote. And they was like, well, I didn't write anything. Well, you can't say that you're not a writer if you don't write. And he says, and then when you do something, you write it, you think that it's good, ship it. And so that's how my blog got started. I just decided I'm going to ship it. So I write and I share, right? So let's get started. All right. The name of the blog today is Being You is Your Purpose, even if you cause a disruption. Being you is your purpose, even if you cause a disruption. Our affirmation for today, because you know I got to have an affirmation, is my sincerity to being me is my life's purpose. My sincerity to being me is my life's purpose. Your sincerity to being you is your life's purpose. When was the last time you saw an elevator attendant? When was the last manual elevator you went on to get to the 7th floor that was assisted by an elevator attendant? I'll wait. Think about it. If you are not rich living in a high rise in New York City, or work on a construction site, or a super senior citizen, the answer to the first and second question is never. And you might have even said, Sean Speaks, what is an elevator attendant? Or Why would you need an elevator attendant? All you gotta do is push a button. My sentiments exactly. You see, back in the day, not that long ago, it was believed that the human body could not handle going more than 30 to 50 miles per hour. Well meaning medical professionals and propagandists worried that on a speed train going more than 50 miles per hour, that female passengers' uterus would fly out of their bodies and the human body would liquefy or melt. Sounds crazy, right? Go look it up. In the early 1900s, the advent of the automatic elevators was set to disrupt the manual elevators, and most people were very afraid of this advancing technology. Some people believed it was from the devil, and some people mentally resisted the elevator due to hard set beliefs that blocked them expanding their mental bandwidth in changing times. And in 1857, passenger elevators were operated by steam engines, were introduced in a New York department store. But after 3 years, the customers just refused to use them. So they took them out. This elevator traveled about 40 feet per minute, very slow. Today's elevators travel about 40 feet per second, or even more than that. Steam engine elevators were later replaced by hydraulic driven elevators that was then later replaced by electric traction elevators used mostly today. I know you're saying, Sean Speaks, why are you talking about elevators? But stick with me. I got a point to make. Automatic elevators operate by a type of abstraction, which means systems working behind the scene to make the cart go up and down without manual effort. All you have to do on an automatic elevator is push a button, kind of like you do on a computer. Many of us have no idea how the letters and the emojis appear on the screen, but all we do is hit a letter or hit a symbol and voila, it shows on our screen. Just like we push 410 and voila, we rise to the 10th level and all we have to do is wait. Abstraction operates as a kind of inner coding of a system that creates and directs an outer expression of a product or service. The automation of the elevator expanded the minds of those willing to use them and to think from them, not simply be those who resisted the advancing technology because it differed from what they used to believe was possible or true. You no longer had to see all the mechanisms of how it works to know that it works. This is what advancing technology does for us. It removes the outer steps of pre-programming the interconnections to automate the outcome, even of people's behavior, without people even realizing that that's happening to them. For example, with the advent of the automatic elevator, social habits, social lifestyles, and beliefs of people changed as well. Why wouldn't we now take the elevator over the stairs to get to the 7th floor? But in 1857, people's minds were afraid of this machine called the elevator. So the stairs they would have chosen. To change this mental resistance to the elevator, people's minds had to be reprogrammed or abstracted to believe in the necessity of that which they were once scared of. Isn't it amazing how one person's idea can affect the beliefs, the habits, the behaviors, and lifestyles of other people? The advent or the creation of the elevator, along with the marketing and new inventions such as skyscrapers, luxury hotels with the penthouse view, utilized in promoting the elevators, changed people's answers to the question, what is luxurious? At one point, people believed that it was more luxurious, therefore more costly, of course, to live on the lower floor of a building. But with the creation of the automatic elevator, which could take you to higher levels faster and safer, social sentiments for higher floors changed. And people became more willing to pay a little bit more dollars to live on a higher floor. You want that penthouse view? No one person is credited for the advent of the automated elevator as we know it, because the elevator as we know it was the result of the convergence of ideas by different people with perfect timing, unbeknownst to them, when their idea was first pursued. Otis Tuft and Alicia Otis had two different ideas that converged to make the elevator as we know it. Otis Tuft's patent in 1859 for a vertical railway, which was basically an enclosed car with a bench inside of it, converged, right, with an invention by Alicia Otis, who invented a platform that could be hoisted up and down, but it also included a safety brake that was patented in 1852. It was the combination of these two inventions created at different times that led to the automatic electric traction elevators as we know them today. I really want you to think about that, right? Otis patented his invention in 1859. Alicia Otis patented the safety brake in 1852. What if Otis Tuft and Alicia Otis had not brought to life the idea in their head at the time it came to them? Think about that. You may have an idea in your magnetic field of your mind right now, and you might be dismissing it because it sounds crazy, because you have been led to believe certain things about time and space, life and death, that are simply not true, or that cannot be absolutely known. So you make the sky the limit when there is no sky to limit yourself to. You might be dismissing your ideas because they go against all things you were trained to believe as right or wrong, good or bad, possible or impossible. You could wait to bring your ideas into fruition until people's sentiments change. But why? Bring your idea to life, because greatness does not have to ask for permission. And eventually, just like the elevator, the sentiments of people will change too. Just ask Otis Tuft, ask Alicia Otis, ask Steve Jobs, ask Bill Gates, ask Elijah McCoy, Ask Madam C.J. Walker. Ask Lewis Howard Latimer. Ask Marie Van Britten Brown. Ask George Washington Carver. Ask Tara Reid. Ask Cortland Allen. And ask Johannes Gutenberg, just to name a few. Go look some of these people up. Some of who I named are still alive and breathing and look just like us, or just like me, or just like you. What you are inputting into your inner belief system about you affects the output of being you. Now, I'm going to repeat that because you really need to think about this. What you are inputting into your inner belief system about you affects the output of being you. If you are inputting doubt about your own thinking, then you will always be in doubt about your own thinking. If you are inputting unworthiness in your own being, then you will always present to yourself as unworthy, even to those things and to people that you really want. If you are always inputting a belief that you get the short end of the stick, then you will always get the short end of the stick. That belief system is your abstraction directing the output of your life. I want you to think about that, right? Your belief system is your abstraction. It's the automated part of your mind, right? And it's directing the output of your life. But what if you applied an intentional type of abstraction of what you really want into your inner believing about you, who you are, who you can be, how you can show up, what you can have, what kind of relationships you can have, what kind of business you can have? What if you applied an intentional type of abstraction that was aligned with what you really want? As Dan Pena, of all people, I know I'm quoting, but I love this quote. I may be wrong, but I am never in doubt. What if you gave allowance in your life to the ideas that pass on the conveyor belt of your mind? Stop dismissing those ideas as crazy or stupid, or that they will never amount to anything or not good enough. You know what we do, right? We get a good idea, but then we start to talk ourselves out of this idea, and we start to say all of these negative things about what's going on in our minds. Start encoding yourself with a belief that you are a part of a whole, and your idea may not be the whole product. Your idea may not be the whole service. Your idea may not be the whole philosophy. But like Alicia Otis's safety brake, your idea could be the necessary cog that makes the wheel turn. Even if it takes years for the world to know that your idea was genius. Don't dismiss your ideas passing through your mind right now as crazy, simply because you don't think people will understand, or because your ideas conflict with outdated beliefs based in fear and tradition passed down as gospel truths that, like the elevator attendant, really has no use today. Thoughts are like energy. If you don't do anything with your thoughts, that energy will just transmit to someone else, and someone else will bring to life your ideas. We don't want that to happen, do we? Ideas are not a respecter of persons. They're like magic. Abracadabra, which is an Aramaic word that means I create what I speak. Ideas are thoughts you think, turned into words you speak, turned into physical experiences you create. You want me to repeat that? Okay, I will. Ideas are thoughts you think, turned into words you speak, turned into physical experiences you create. Ideas acted upon are merely iterations of you brought to life. Listen to that. Ideas acted upon are merely iterations of you brought to life. So don't die with the legacy of you never having lived. Your time to bring to life your ideas is now, right now. Abracadabra, the elevator attendant is needed, and now it's not. Don't miss your time. I want you to chew on this shit real good. Some people lived and died thinking and believing that riding in trains going faster than 30 miles per hour was going to melt their bodies. Some people lived and died thinking and believing that vehicles, cars, trucks, were the devil's wagons, and that women were physically prone to fainting, physical weakness, bouts of hysteria, and wouldn't be able to control vehicles by themselves. Therefore, women shouldn't drive. What you say now? And they believed these things as gospel truths. Wow. I wonder sometimes if any of them died with crazy yet beautiful ideas in their minds, but their inner beliefs stopped them from pursuing making those realities, those crazy ideas, reality. If only they could see us now driving electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles driving us, typing on computers that magically show what we're typing on a screen, and flying airplanes all around the world, maybe even flying one day to the moon and to Mars and all over the galaxies. They probably would say, wow, I should have seen the magic in my own ideas. You have crazy ideas. I know you do. I do too, which is why you're listening or reading this podcast right now or this blog. Your idea may just be the missing part of the puzzle that converges with another's idea that will usher in the next great technological, social, political, philosophical, spiritual advancement of the human experience. You don't have to wait on others to give you permission to trust your own thinking. You don't have to wait for others to give you permission to trust your own thinking. You don't have to think outside of somebody else's box. You just need to start thinking within your own. Maybe, just maybe, thinking within your own box is what genius really means. Our affirmation for today: my sincerity to being me is my life's purpose. My sincerity to being me is my life's purpose. Your sincerity to being you is your life's purpose. Thank you so much for listening to the audio broadcast podcast presented to you by Sean Speaks with freeyourthinkingmind.com. I definitely want to remind you to go over to knowpurpose.com and do a little shopping this shopping season. And you remember, use Black Out as a code at checkout, and you will get 15% off of your order. Ashe, free thinkers, ashe. May what you say manifest in your life today and every day. Ashe.